Good evening. Welcome to Politics 101. Good evening, of course. I'm coming to you from Guyana. Good evening to you if you are in Guyana or you are in the wider Caribbean. Good evening to you. Good evening to our viewers in North America, the United States of America, Canada, and some of you may well be in Mexico. Good evening to you in Washington, D.C., Maryland area. I know lots of us are there. Don't talk about Brooklyn. Good evening to you. If you're coming in us from Brooklyn, Queens, and all the people in the tri-state area, those of you who are in New Jersey, good evening to you. Welcome, of course, to Politics 101. Good evening, Desiree, who is there in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the tri-state there, and of course, New York, Lower Connecticut, and Upper New Jersey. Welcome to you. Welcome to Politics. Well, a Happy New Year! Our first show for the new year. Welcome those of you who are joining us from Europe. Welcome down to Politics 101 in England, the United Kingdom, Great Britain, whatever you call yourself. I have two kids who are living there, two children. They'll object to me calling them kids. They're big people. And welcome to Politics 101. All our good friends from England, joining us from England, welcome to Politics 101, our first show for the year. Happy New Year to you. I assume that you all made it into the new year. Some of you may have gone to church. Some of you may have gone to church the next morning. Rather than catching the old year's night, you caught the New Year's morning. The New Year's happened to fall on a Sunday this year, so you all might have taken the opportunity to go partying on Saturday night and go to church on Sunday morning. Welcome down to Politics 101. Welcome to our first show for the year, and we have appropriately titled today's show The Year of the Turn. The Year of the Turn. We started last week making the point that this year has to be the year of the turn, that the year 2022 was really too much to handle. No society, no country should be put through that kind of agony. A government that is concerned only about itself and its friends. A government that lies to its own people. Governments lie routinely, but this government is doing more than other governments. And all the racial discrimination, and all the class discrimination, all the gender discrimination. My God, it's too much. Welcome down to Politics 101. Good friends down there, Orange Walk. I passed through there last night and spent a little time there at Orange Walk. And to the good people down there, welcome on to Politics 101 and big yourself up, as they would say. The people at Den Amstel, I crept into Den Amstel one evening last week. Took in some of the karaoke. I don't sing, but I spent some time there. Chatted with a couple of people who recognize me. You know, you're hoping sometimes you're not recognized, so that you're not put on the spot. The good people of Then I'm still on the west coast of Demerara. I have some relatives there, so I have some roots in that village. Some roots in that village there. The people on the west coast, in general, East Bank, Demerara, West Bank, Demerara, East Bank Essequibo, East Bank Essequibo. The west side, they say no, so you don't have to go through all of that story of West Coast, and when you pass Burusiri, you gone into East Bank, Essequibo, and then when you go so, you gone up to Wales side, and that's the West Bank, and so on. Our people, as creative as they are, they just say the west side. The west side. Welcome to Politics 101. Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks so much for wishing me Happy New Year. And you run into people who are diehards of the show, and as I said, it's good to really see people in person and to know that they keep our show going. Good evening to you in the Eastern Caribbean, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent. The St. Vincent leader is visiting, the Honorable Ralph Gonzalez. As you know, Ralph had gotten involved with the 2020 story and, telling the opposition, telling the coalition that you must take your licks like a man and all those things. Look, Ralph Gonzalez is one of the progressive leaders from the 1960s and 1970s, and he takes some very progressive position as far as regional issues are concerned. International issues, he takes very progressive position. But I thought his position, I know, was wrong. He did not take his time to find out exactly what's happening here before making determination. And so therefore I disagree with Ralph Gonzalez, but he remains an admirable leader from my standpoint. No quarrel there. Some people, when they disagree with you politically, they stop being your friend. And when they stop being your friend, or say they used to admire you, but after something that happened in 2020, I can no longer admire David Hinds. Oh, his sin must be greater than that of Satan. Brother Ralph, did you pay attention to the recount? Brother Ralph, you see, having run with one narrative, and decided that was the narrative, then when faced with the second narrative that arose out of the recount, the first narrative people felt shame. Here they were saying, we saw an attempt to rig an election and we turned it back. That's why we're in power. Later down, you are faced with a narrative that showed not an attempt to rig an election, but actual rigging before election day. Shame. Brother Ralph found himself in that position. Shame. Jump the gun. The Americans, much to their credit, changed their narrative once confronted with the recount. What did the Americans say? It was a disputed election. Ralph Gonzalez, Brother Ralph, Dr. Ralph, before you left Guyana, please say that. I was wrong to base my comments on one narrative. But I'm now aware of the recount, and so it was a disputed election, Brother Ralph. At least I know you got some shame, Ralph. Welcome to Guyana. Welcome to Guyana. You're still someone I look up to. The man who coined the term the Caribbean civilization. Good evening, brother Elliot. Good evening. Welcome down to Politics of 101. Ernest, veteran, Golden Grove. My friend Orin Newton is saying that he's watching from Boston. Imagine. I don't want, but I have not seen this boy all the time. I don't know where he's hiding. Orin Newton. I have no idea where he's hiding. I had to tell one of his friends in Buxton last night, Mr. Miller, that I have not seen Mr. Newton. Mr. Miller said, you don't want to talk about his story. Where he's hiding. And the man is of the height and width that he can't hide. But I have not seen the man. Good evening, Mr. Newton. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Good evening, Mr. Newton. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I hope I see you soon. You know where to find me. Oh, welcome down to Politics 101. So Ralph Gonzalez is visiting. All we are saying, Brother Ralph, take your licks like a man. The licks you got to take, Ralph, is that you jump the gun. And I'm asking you, Brother Ralph, are you really coming to Guyana to see if you're going to get a little bit of the Isle thing to go to Venezuela? Is that what is driving you, Ralph? Brother Ralph, we are Caribbean people. Our position is very clear. The wealth that Guyana has and is having, if used wisely, would be able to get rid or certainly considerably minimize poverty, not just in Guyana, but in the entire Caribbean. Brother Ralph, we are still committed to the ideals of the Black Power movement and the Caribbean radical movement of the 70s. We are still committed to the ideals of regionalization. Brother Ralph, but we can't push regionalization when you take inside. You're taking sides in a dispute in a member country. No one's stopping you from having friends, Dr. Ralph. If you have friends in the PP, that's fine, I know that. Brother Ralph, I've been around long, and I know long before you became leader of the Labour Party that you had the Movement for National Unity before that, MNU. And Ralph, before that, you had a grassroots organization that was close to the PPP. We know that, Brother Ralph. Nothing is wrong in having friends in a political party, Dr. Ralph. But doctor, you cannot take sides. You're a statesman. You can't take sides in a disputed election. And that's what you did. Good evening, Francis. I have only spoken with Orin Newton once since he's here. But I'm not able to see him in Melanie. You're there in Melanie next door. And you want to see the boy? You want to see the boy? He hide. Teacher George used to say, making the boy not the yellow, about your hide. Good evening, good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. We're going to catch you up. Since we're going to catch you. We're going to catch you. We're going to catch you. Is Buxley there? He said, I am joining tonight from Buxton. He has revealed his location. Good evening. So, this year, 2023, is not a year to play sport with. It's not a year to play sport with. I hung out for a little while at Orange Walk last night. Country boy, you don't get down to tongue too steady. But I hung out there, and I had a chat with the opposition leader, the leader of the PNC. I had a chat with him, and I give him all the message all you give me to give to him at Orange Walk in the wide open space. One of my friends texted me and said, David, I could have kidnapped you last night. I always want to kidnap you, but last night was my chance. I was at Orange Walk. You were there with Aubrey Norton. And after Aubrey going in big fancy van, you walked to your little car. And that was my chance to kidnap you. You know why I like Guyanese and Caribbean people? They'll watch you, you know. Yeah, they watch you. And they pay keen attention. So I said, where you see me, you was there with Mr. Norton. She called me David, but Mr. Norton. Mr. Norton. Yes, I had a chat with the opposition leader. And I tell you everything you all say. I ain't lying by you all. I say on my program, we decide that this year is going to be the year of the turn. Mr. Leader, comrade leader, we want you on board. I had a talk with him. I had a long talk with the leader. Long talk. And people come up and talk too. Talk to we too. It has to be the year of the turn. After 2.5 years, something has to give. We've made our case. As if a case were to be made, we have made our case. And the government has made its case. The PPP government. And their case is clear to see. Their case is that they intend to dominate Guyana. They intend to dominate Guyana. Get that out of the way. And they intend to do so with force and violence. I was reading an editorial by the Stabrook News. I still think they write the best editorials. And they made the point that when President Ali was asked about racial unity, the man said that yes, we are going after racial unity. Here's how we're going to do it. We are going to beef up the cybercrime law, and we're going to use the Racial Hostility Act to lock up people who are dividing our people. Here, you hear how the people, you hear how the man said they intend to bring about national unity. I'm quoting from the Stabrook News. He intends to bring national unity not by bringing the people together, but by locking up people. Locking up people. That is how the man intends to bring about national unity. Hey, Lado. shows their intention. That they want to govern the country, as economists would say, not govern, because governing, they want to rule the country. These are these old-time rulers. They want to rule by force. So that is how they intend to bring about national unity. Lock up Rickford Buck, lock up Mark Bentrup, lock up the mayor, lock up Sherrod Duncan. Maybe David Hines, I don't know. That's how they intend to bring about national unity. So the government has made its case clear. Thanks to Brother Nigel Hughes, the evidence they were daring us to come up with, we come up with the evidence. I see one of their gentlemen saying in the paper that he must commend this one Indian he must commend Nigel Hughes for bringing the evidence. You know how Nigel Hughes get the methodology. And I'm saying, what nonsense. If you want to count the number of contracts given and the ethnicity, what kind of nonsense you're talking about methodology? But this is it. When you say that you all are not distributing, they say you lie. But the evidence. You bring the evidence and they say, we do not know how you've accumulated this evidence. You notice the government not saying nothing. Not saying nothing. The spokespersons are trying to question the evidence. One of them, Dr. Randolph Posad, who writes a lot in the paper, he's an academic, and when you read his stuff, nice academic stuff, he said, well, Nigel Hughes got to court. These people are no good. They hide the evidence in the first place. Government has the evidence. They should put this evidence on their website. They don't, but they have the evidence. You know, go overseas and find the evidence and present it to them. Then they're running wrong like a sensor chicken. Well, sensor not get chicken, sensor get fowl. Run around like a sensor fowl. They have been caught. We have caught them. Now what? Now what? 2023 must be the year of the turn. I told Mr. Norton that last night. Not on my own behalf, but on the behalf of all of you. What are we going to do in 2023? People are asking me about election. Some people say the PPP gearing up for a snap election. No, I don't talk party too much on this program because I don't want you all to believe that I come here begging for votes. But I'm going to say this. You all know I belong to the WPA, the only party I ever joined. I've been in WPA from a little by 1974 before it was a party. Almost 50 years. Little by, short pants. I still belong to that party. I still believe that party has an important role to play in Guyana. I still believe that there is a radical instinct that wants to transform this society, not share out money and believe that that will end poverty, but to transform the society by cleaning poverty from our country. That is the radical instinct that I'm talking about. And we still believe that there is a substantial section of our population that embraces that radical instinct. People ask me every day, David, you in this thing or you're not? Well, yes, I'm in the thing. My interest in politics has never been about power. It has always been about how we make this society better for poor people, for the underprivileged people, and for all Guyanese. Regardless of race, gender, or class. And so, yes, I am part of the political mix. And the party to which I belong is part of the political mix, and in 2023 will demonstratively do so. More than we have been doing. Limited resources, but we intend in 2023 to be part of the change. Everybody said Norton this, PNC this. I can't talk for Norton and the PNC, but I think it's criminal for Guyana to put all its weight on one leader and one party. So, yes, I am in the mix. As part of the WPA, I'm in the mix because I think we have something to say. We have something that everybody else is saying that we want to say and do. And then I got some things that we want to say and do. Our task in 2023 is this: to level the playing field. If the playing field is not leveled and you go to an election on a playing field that is not level, you'll be whipped unfairly. Somebody stopped me, Dr. Hinds'Sight said, we mustn't pay attention to 2025. What do you mean? And I had to explain. Going to an election on a level playing field is imperative. Going to an election on an economic playing field that is not level. On a political playing field that is not level, you are setting yourself up to be unfairly whipped. People create crooked rules on an uneven playing field until you come play. The Working People's Alliance, the WPA, David Hines is saying there tonight, in 2023, we have to singly and together level the blasted playing field. For all people, all classes and gender. You all hear me talking about women a lot recently. And we intend to take up the plight of women in Guyana, working class women in particular. You talking about development. I hear one of the clap columnists, shall we drive? He drive from from East Coast to Puerto Rico, and he see development. I sometimes wonder what the hell are they? What is development? 2 new house, 200 new house, that's development. For us in the Working People's Alliance, for me, David Hines, development is about development of people, not big building. Until the people of Guyana get the monetary and other material resources to fundamentally change their material lives, because if your material life changes, then it allows you more space for spiritual development. Until the economic playing field is leveled, we ain't going nowhere. Mighty Sparrow said you can't make love on hungry belly. And you know, those of you old timers, you cannot make love on hungry belly. Meaning that you cannot have development in a country when the people belly hungry. We have to level the playing field in 2023, and we are going to level the playing field in 2023. I told Aubrey Norton that last night. All you tell me to tell him, and I told him. I didn't hide to tell him. I tell him in the open space. I told him last night. I ain't a PNC member. I belong to the WPA. They call us small parties, but we have a role to play. And I and my comrades intend to play that role with your help. And I'm going to be spending part of these programs outlining the WPA's line of march. But I'm starting on this first program to put it in your consciousness that I don't come here and sit down and chat every night for nothing. We have chatted for 2.5 years, and we can do something about the chat this year. I don't want to have to explain myself. Well, Dr. Hines, what you mean we gonna go up on the streets? Revolutionaries don't give away the game before the game starts. We have to do this together. This can't be a PNC thing, Aubrey Norton thing, or what Aubrey do. I can't speak for Aubrey Norton. I will bring him here as I do from time to time and have him speak for himself. But we ain't lying down this year. I'm speaking here to the ordinary people. The salt of the earth, we ain't lying down this year. If you're going down the road, all will be going down the road. Leaders and followers. And we want to hear from you. How you think we should be going down the road? I know we've been talking about boots on the ground and so forth. You never take any option off the table. Boots on the ground is a normative attitude to struggle. But we ain't going with 10 boots on the ground. If you're going on with boots on the ground, it has to be 10,000, 20,000 boots on the ground. We are leveling the playing field in 2023. I'm not an obeah man. I don't know what will happen. But what I do know is that the human spirit can take so much. We are lying down and take Ram over in 2023. They said we were lying. This is not an emerging apartheid state. And now the evidence is before them. They're ducking and hiding. Mouth open, story jump out. The premier columnist from the Kaieteur News say, if friend write a letter and say, I agree. Teacher just say, he mouth a run. I have to put bip on him, bip. Yeah, mouth a run. Run mouth. Run mouth say, no, look, that is my friend. Frederick Kissoon said, if friend write a letter to Stabroek News and say, I agree with Freddie Kissoon, so. And Stabroek News said, I agree that so. They rub out Freddie Kissoon name. Yeah. Stabroek News rub out his name. He start crying. Oh, this country is a terrible country, and the Creole middle class, mulatto, I will never call Freddie Kissoon a hypocrite. I don't call people hypocrite easily. But this is a man, when Kaieteur News knock out me and Lincoln Lewis, he said, I agree with Kaieteur News to knock them out because they were not towing the political line of Kaieteur News. Freddie, Big Mouth Freddie. I'm not being unkind to you by calling Big Mouth Freddie. Freddie, Stabroek News rub out your name because you don't fit into their political agenda. I am not calling you a hypocrite. I don't call people hypocrite easy, but you are begging to be called a hypocrite. When Stabroek News, Kaieteur News, rub out David Hinds, they rub out me name, they rub out me column. Me and Lincoln. You agree with them. Now all the other people do is rub out you name and you're crying like a little baby, Freddie. You're not a little baby. And you're not a crier baby. I am not saying you're a hypocrite, but you are begging to be called a hypocrite. I wanted to put in that. I don't think Freddie does listen to this program. So you all must tell him that I said he's begging to be called a hypocrite. People rub out in him. Stabroek News don't care, no press release from WPA in the news. They vex with me. Because you see, all of them who came up with this rig election story in 2020, they wanted WPA to validate it. You see, they know that we represent a sacred part of the political conscience of this country. And if they could have gotten us to say the coalition regard Jesus Christ, game over. But we never gave them that validation. They hate our guts. They don't carry press release. Sometimes we gotta write it as letter. They may carry it. Neither Stabrook News nor Kaichor News. They want to kill us out. Freddie Kisoon Clapian, are you right? Them WPA people is devil. Now they rub out the name. You cry like a little baby. Good evening, my brother John C. Paul. Good evening, my brother. Real soldier of the struggle. Good evening. Are you ever see anything, sir? They rub out the name. You know, you just talk about the Creole, middle class, and the mulatto, and how they create UF, and they create the WPA, and they create the AFC. What you don't say is the two of them party that me call the Ibinin. He was a member, and one of them he vote for. Oh, he must love the mulatto Creole middle class. Freddie, you are begging to be called a hypocrite. Oh, you hating on these people, and you've been in the parties that you said they create, and you vote for the next one that you didn't be in. Here what happened to that boy, and I'm gonna move on from me. We all were friends. But he decided, by a getting old, he said he's 72 years the other day. He's a big boy. And I ain't doing this no more. I go in where the soup pouring, not soup dropping. But now if I go there, I'm going to look bad. So I have to create the condition for me to go there. I have to say, my friend, the bad. So I can't stay there with them and camp on the other side. I don't care which party me friend they belong to. They got people in the PPP, them old timers. I still consider them my partners. I see them every now and again, week off and so on. I don't care which party anybody belongs to. That doesn't determine my friendship with them. If they disagree with me, no problem. But when you hear people start saying, I used to love this person, I used to admire this, I look at Pierre Malik Chan, call me name David Hines. I used to look up to David Hines and Karen D'Souza. And I can no longer look up to them. And Priya is asked what crime they commit. They remain silent in 20. You're a goddamn liar, because I am bringing out a book in a couple of weeks that chronicles everything I was saying in those 5 months. I was not quiet. I wasn't saying what you, Priya, and you, Freddie, and all the rest of you wanted me to say. I wasn't quiet. But I didn't say, the one said the PNC rig election. And if I want to say so, say so. I knew better. I was on the ground on election day. I saw PPP people sharing ID cards, like ID cards going out the side with me own yai. Countryman said, me own yai. So I was not going to be caught in any one-sided narrative. David Hines was silent. I can't look up to him anymore. You always hear them wretch? You always hear the wretches? 2023 is the year of the turn. We have to begin to turn the tide back in our favor. Me walk a boxing the other night. Come up to me, he said, Dr. Hines, I want to have a word with you. Me say, one word? you are allowed 100 words with me. He said, me's a contractor. Me say, by me know he's a contractor. He said, you know them people give away $50-something million for 20-something bridge. Me say, yes, me know. He said, you know me, I make no money. Me say, how come? He said, when me done buy material and me pay them buy and thing, me ain't get nothing for carry home. So as a contractor, I did not benefit from the bridge. Me say, buy it, but me know that. He said, oh, you know that times. Me say, me look at the numbers and me look at the number of contractors. He said, well, I want you to say it on your program. He said, with pleasure. My brother, I'm saying it tonight. That at least one contractor boxing tell me he not make nothing. Story not done yet. Next one meet me. But he not call me that because me and you grow much. He said, David, I want to talk to you. I said, but you also talk to me and you go, me and you been in school together. He said, well, me want to talk to you about the contract. Me say, yes, go ahead. He said, you know, me make a little thing on the contract. Me say, but people tell me, then I make he say, here, me have to put myself on as two other contractor. So in a sense, me go on as three contractor because if me go back one, me not make nothing. So me have to use another name. Two other time, forget. Me say, but it makes sense. Me say, me can set up. He said, yes. People must know that when they say boxing, people, contractor make money, I mean, I make money. I want more of you who are going down that road, or more of you who know people going down the road, tell them to go down the road. They will give you drip. And they're giving billions to their sons, to themselves and their families. Because they believe all you stupid. And sometimes all you make you all self stupid. Good evening to Politics 101. We're having good fun there tonight. Denise Booker, how are you? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. This year we got to get serious. You all got to join the struggle. Those of you who are physically in Guyana, you all have to join the struggle. You have to, first of all, organize where you live. And if you can't organize openly, organize clandestinely. Don't wait for Nathan to come or for David Hines to come. Call away. Call away. Call us. The more we come close to you, the less advantage is going to be taken on you. Boots on the ground must not only mean plenty people in Georgetown. We're going to do that too. I'm playing. We have to have big mass demonstrations. But we also have to organize in our communities. We have to come there to hear from you and to plan with you how we going to level the playing field. We play around a little in the last 2.5 years. We gotta stop playing around. I was on Mark Benchop show the other night, and Mark was going on about the public, what they call them, member of parliament. And I understand the frustration. And I argued on that program, and I'm arguing here. Members of parliament are there because of a political party or a coalition of parties. And unless they understand their role, you are not going to get any consistent action from them. If I, David Hinds, have anything to do with parliamentarians, I will say to them, first thing, you're a parliamentarian in an era of dictatorship. And your role as a parliamentarian must be as an activist. Your role as a parliamentarian must be as an activist. I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody. The lady from East Bank, Miss Flubess. When I talk to people on the East Bank, when I make my own observation, I think she comes closest, the activist parliamentarian. Go on the ground, represent your people, take their complaints, highlight them, be there every time a tin cup knock in your constituency, organize demonstrations with the support of your party and with the support of the people. Be an activist parliamentarian. That is what the moment calls for. A parliamentarian will not win victories by going in parliament and giving the speech, but you must do that. You must do that to expose them. But you're not going to win anything for your people there. Parliamentarians must be activists. You open your eye, you must see them. You must see them in the east, in the west, the north, and the south. Walking among the people, crying with the people, and planning with the people. God bless Nima Flubes. I ain't saying the others not doing work. But it's not obvious that they understand their role to be an activist. If me Flubes and think she's been an activist, David Hinds is an old-time veteran activist. I'm telling you, you have been an activist. That's what the other 30 or 31, I can't remember, or many of you, that's what you all need to be doing. When the mayor they lay down on the road, are you sure they lie down with them there? But you all weren't there, many of you in the first place. Because somebody didn't sit down with you all and to say everything in Kopnak, are you almost dead? I ain't cussing you all out. You all are my friends. You all are my representative. Vote for you. And I'm saying the opposition parliamentarians must sit down together under the leadership of who? Well, Norton is the leader of the opposition leader in parliament. And you must sit down and work out your role. And your role cannot just be to dress up in a nice shirt, a nice frock, and go and give big speech when bills are there. That is important. But it is not the only thing that is important. If more important is in this hour of anguish by the people, or you must be there to share that anguish. Can't get parliamentarians to come onto these programs. You invite them to give you a long story. I understand sometimes PNC parliamentarians said David Hinds is too much of a radical. Me, I want company program, me will get in trouble. Or some of them might be saying, me unable with them big story them now, me and read up too much, me and thing. Which says that you must read up. Our parliamentarians have to come out of the shadows in 2023. And they must become political activists. Or we ain't doing business. I maintain that when the mayor they lie down there, 5, 6 are usually they lie down there with them. But you all have to be there. Only one. Only Brother Sherrod. God bless that brother. Only he had the instinct to recognize that this was a moment of truth. And it was Brother Bobby Seale, I think, of the Black Panthers that said, seize the time, seize the time, seize the time. I think it's Brother Bobby Seale that said that. I'm beginning to think it's Edith Cleaver, but I think it's Bobby Seale. I know I got the historians here with me. You're all going to tell me which one right. Seize the time, seize the time. We are making sport in 23. And those who have been elected, we know that they have not been elected directly, that we vote for the party and the party choose them. And I want to get into the business of who should have been chosen or who should not have been chosen. They were chosen. They're in parliament. And this struggle is not a beauty contest. My brothers and sisters parliamentarians, change course. Come out of the shadows. Represent your people. Represent them not just by exposure in parliament. Represent them by walking with them, hearing with them. The poet said, you got to hear with the ears of the people. You got to see with the eyes of the people. You got to think with the minds of the people. Or you got to start doing that. When there's a demonstration, you must have an audience of 31 ready. And I guarantee you that if 31 come out of the shadows, immediately 3,100 will come out. And more and more. We have got to level the playing field in 2023. Brother Aubrey, I told you last night what they tell me to tell you. Brother Aubrey, you got to up your game too, you know, brother. You got a lot on your shoulder. Plenty, I know. I don't envy you. At least you just level with your people. 2023, you got to continue to do more of that and ask your deputies I know some of the young people who are elected with you. I want to see their boots. You got to speak with the voice of the people. I know you all don't like talk about race. The poison are you subtle that are you fighting for talk, but you all own situation with your own people. But you all got to talk about racial discrimination. It's called delegate representation. You're representing not how you feel, but how your constituents feel. You're in parliament not representing yourself. You're in parliament representing your people. I know you all like some of them. I know some of you all like Amanza. Call her up and tell Amanza, it's 2023. It's the year of the turn. And you got to turn your face and your attention in a certain direction. I know you all like them. I know you all like Ganesh. Call Ganesh and said, Ganesh, you're eloquent. Perhaps the best speaker in the National Assembly. But Ganesh, you got to take your speech down to the earth. You all tell them this is the year of the turn. And if they ask you what an activist parliamentarian looks like, tell them, look to the East Bank at Nima Flubes. She's not my cousin. I hardly know her. I've met her a few times. She has been on this program a couple of times. But I think if anyone on the opposition bench tries to be an activist member of parliament, it's that young woman. And yes, those of us who are not in parliament, we work cut out. Selvin has him been at Bamba Mali. No, Selvin, I am a big respectable politician. I get on my nice thing. I said Orange Walk. Why you got called the thing by the next name, Bam Bam Ali? Selvin, you are a respectable attorney of law. Yes, Selvin, Bamba Mali, yes, I was there. Good evening, my brother, Selvin Peters, attorney at law, Guyanese attorney at law, operating out of Canada, but practices here in Guyana also, and someone who has contributed tremendously. Good evening, all of you. You've got to go where people are. It's one thing to say, I spoke with the people, and I know what the people are thinking. You can't know what the people are thinking if you don't want to talk to them. Sit down and hang out with them. Sometimes it's good to go informally, because that's when people are in their native state. Then dressing up the thing to give you. They're in the native state. And so, sisters and brothers, are we depanam? Are we depanam? But are we going? One of the things that I've learned in my 50 years of activism is that anger has a limit. Tolerance has a limit. Make believe has a limit. You can't fake it for too long, you know. You can't fake this thing for too long. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Happy New Year to everybody. 2023, we're going to rock the boat until the boat settles. And equally dispense of its contents. Or we rock the boat and throw away all the contents. Either you give women and children and men, Indians and Africans and Amerindians, the poor, the middle class, what they deserve, or you shall not breathe the air comfortably. The old timers, you know the old, I think it's Paul McCartney, all I need is the air that I breathe. Either all we breathe good air, or we bring down the wrath of the world, the wrath of the ancestors, on the carriers of wickedness. We got God on our side. We got the ancestors on our side. And we're beginning to bring the rest of the world on our side. What we need is you, the people, on your side. Talk to me. Talk to us. If you don't want to show your full face, give away your face to use as barricade against those who would turn our country into a devilish field. Happy New Year. It's nice to see so many of you out tonight. And they know it here that I say, then in the night they get a following, you know. But of course we have a following. Of course we have a following. Because contrary to what you all are saying, we are doing the work that needs to be done. Thank you all. Thank you all very much. See you all tomorrow night. I got a girlfriend tomorrow. Tonight I talk up. Tonight I talk up. Tonight me talk me mind. You see? Me mind na bank house. Me not store thing in there thing. Me mind na bank house. Talk me mind. Who like it, who don't like it, they know what to do. But I want you all to like it. Tomorrow night, I'm going to have a friend. A friend that you all like, and the friend going to talk. Good night. Good night. Happy New Year. Love you all so much. Too much. Plenty, plenty. Because we are in this thingy together. And we are loving it. The 2023, we on our way to level the playing field and turn up the thing. Good night.